Hello and welcome to episode 18. Today we're talking about how single issues don't make sense. So, what do we mean by this, Steve?
So I think like single issue kind of covers everything history has ever done, right? So we have been looking at it like in the wrong way. So we just want to solve slavery, right? So then we end up with more slavery, right? So we just think that human slavery is bad. So we solve it, and then we end up with something even more bigger, much more worse suffering, that is animal slavery. Right. So then now we are trying to like not we but some people, vegans, are trying to end animal slavery, and then that kind of transfers to wild animals, right? So it's gonna double the forests, and it's gonna add like quintillions of more sufferers into the world. So so this is single issues is what I mean by single issues. It can range from anything like rescuing a little puppy to uh, you know liberating Palestine. All these are single issues, right? So you just so the people who fight against these issues, they just think doing this one thing would solve the entire this is the only kind of problem. It kind of solves the entire picture, but it doesn't actually. Most cases, like, it leads to more suffering, right? So for example, if you rescue a dog, it just means that yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I just go and rescue a dog, so tomorrow the other dogs are going to reproduce and replace this dog, right? So this is what I mean by like single issues, concentrating on like one issues. So this is why like only total extinction will be the complete solution, right? Because whatever you do, especially when you fight for single issues, you don't even know whether it will increase or decrease suffering. It cannot be guaranteed. So, for example, if you liberate all the farmed animals, wild animal suffering will like skyrocket, right? So if you end some kind of like, it's for example, China, like they sort of like eradicated poverty, but look at it, they are the number one consumers of animal products, right? So and yeah, even it didn't even solve human suffering. It led to some other sufferings. So that's another case. But the thing is, there is a basic concept any person who fights for a single issues doesn't understand. So it is carrying capacity of the ecosystem, right? For example, like if there are like 10 deer in a forest, you just go and rescue one of them, or you just go and euthanize one of them. Right. So other deer, they are just going to reproduce and replace this deer. So there is literally there is, you are not making any difference. In fact, you just increased the number of sufferers, and it literally made no difference. So this kind of like uh, this logic applies to like this is the core logic why you need a total extinction. This is a logic that defeats most of the modern ideologies like veganism, antinatalism. You just see like farmed animals are going to be replaced by wild animals. And if you are an anti-natalist, if human population reduces, again, wild animals will skyrocket even more than it does in like banning farmed animal farming. So the thing is that like again some morons will be like, so do you want want to bring slavery back? Do you want to bring poverty back to China? Do you want to want farmed animals to suffer? These morons are just literally like cult members who just can't see the big picture. They care more about defending their single issue campaigns more than like what actually helps the victims. So this is
Yeah,
the yeah.
it's small-minded, right? It's I mean, it's almost tribalism, really, as well. It's not thinking about everyone. It's thinking about, your team, how you can help your side, right?
Yeah.
Small issues, small, like, oh, just go and help your community. Okay, well, that's not going to change the bigger picture.
No,
It's yes.
this is not even. I'm not saying these are like small issues. Okay, well, like for example, if you take farmed animal suffering, that's a kind of a big issue, right? Because there are like 70 billion sufferers there, and with intense suffering. But I'm saying like single issues, like you are concentrating on dogs. Like for example, let's say tomorrow, like we protest, like in India there are stray dogs, right? So let's say that you and me, we go and protest against for stray dog euthanasia, and let's say Indian government accepts our demands and euthanizes every single stray dog here, right? That just means that food on the resources, food, water that are on the streets, right? Those are going to be taken by other animals. Crows are going to overpopulate. Monkeys are going to come into cities. Cats are going to overpopulate, right? So you just transferred the suffering of one animal to another animal. So you didn't really, even if you like, yeah, like you can guarantee somehow that these stray dogs will not be replaced, then it's not something that is bad. But you are just literally like doing nothing, to be really honest, with single issue campaigns, right? That's why it makes sense to focus on extinction, because extinction is only when you like spread the message of extinctionism, there is a sense of total extinction, right? So when you fight for those crows, those dogs, those monkeys, those cats, all at the same time, that only makes sense, right? Otherwise, you are just a speciesist. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is a small issue.
Yeah, I just think it's they're not trying to think of the bigger picture, is what I'm saying, right? In a lot of these
Yeah.
cases, I mean, you could maybe say that communists are trying to say that, yeah, it solves everything, but again, they are in speciesist, discriminating against wildlife, which you won't have wildlife driving around in their little tanks saying, yeah, we're communists now as well.
So, like the
So
thing
yeah,
is, even
sorry, yeah, just saying, yeah, extinctionism is the only movement that seeks to help all sufferers in a realistic way and in the right way.
yeah, even in extinctionism, right? Like I've seen people celebrate species extinction. So I have seen people post like, yeah, white rhinos are extinct. They don't have to suffer anymore. I mean, like, this is literally like a bullshit opinion to have, because this is literally rhino racism, right? So there are like 10 white rhinos and 10 black rhinos in a forest. And the white rhinos went extinct, and the black rhinos just took up the resources and became 20. Right? So you didn't solve any suffering. You just changed the skin color of the sufferer. Right? So this is what single issue campaigns and like species extinction. Even if you take like ideologies, like shitty ideologies like pro-mortalism, antinatalism, ephilism, veganism, every kind of I think this is the core problem in every single movement other than extinctionism. They just think, okay, they just see some suffering, they see farmed animal suffering and think that if we end farmed animal suffering, the world will be a much better place, it'll all be Disneyland. But no, not for the wild animals, right? So a chicken doesn't care if it's killed by you or a fox. A fish doesn't care if it gets stuck in a net or suffocates inside or melted by acid in a whale's stomach. Right. So it literally doesn't make sense to focus on like one issues. So recently we have been seeing some morons, right, especially with vegans. So these people are like, oh no, we are extinctionists and we are fighting against farmed animals. But in reality, they wouldn't do any extinctionist activism. They will only be talking about veganism. That's another thing. But what they would say is like, let's abolish all the farms and then replace all the farms with infrastructure so that it's not reforested. Then you have to go and first you abolish the farms, then wild animal suffering comes back, then you put some infrastructure there, then urban animals and humans have to suffer. Right. What is this like? It's like this in these cartoons, like this Tom and Jerry. The pipe will be leaking. Tom will keep one hand on the pipe, and then it starts leaking in another direction. Then he puts his leg on that direction, right? Then he's out of arms, legs and tails, right? And then the pipe just explodes. This is what the world has been doing right now. The only thing is to like stop the tap and just take out the pipe. Right. Otherwise, you are going to end up like with a mess.
Yeah, it's you would think that people in these movements like veganism and antinatalism would naturally be open to the idea of helping more sufferers, right? They seem to be virtuous, moral people, right? Look at us, we're helping. But when you say, how about we could do a better job at helping, but you have to abandon the cult of veganism or antinatalism, right? Suddenly they don't want to. So they're not actually about helping the real victims. That's not their real motivation. It's looking good. It's feeling good, right? It's their health, better sex as a vegan.
Yeah, these people are just like following a cult. For them, defending. So if somebody says, see, these are not extinctionists. These are people who are lying to themselves, or these are either people who are lying to themselves or lying to us. Because these vegan, this term vegan, antinatalist, these are not the things you should be loyal to. These are just words. If you are coming for activism, you have to be first loyal to the victims, right? So what if you look at victims, if you just go and euthanize one chicken or rescue one chicken, it just means that that owner is going to breed another chicken. If you go and rescue one dog or euthanize one dog, it just means that the dogs are going to breed more, right? But there are a lot of animal rights activists. So you are a non-vegan, right, James? So there are a lot of animal rights activists who are like rescuing chickens here and there, right? Have you heard of like when you are going to a restaurant and ordering a chicken? Have any restaurant owner told you like some vegans rescued chickens from the farm we buy in? So no chicken for you. You have to eat vegan pizza today. No, right.
No.
So as long as there is demand, like they will just reproduce the chickens. They'll breed the chickens, and they are going to meet the demand, right? So that's why these kind of things doesn't make sense. So you have to like this is what, again, if you just say that, okay, I'll just protest and ban all the farms, and you're just transferring the suffering to wild animals. Again, these vegan idiots will come and fight. Okay, so do you want farmed animals to suffer? No, I don't want farmed animals to suffer. I don't want wild animals to suffer either. So if the system is like this, either you have to make a person with a red shirt suffer, or a person with a blue shirt suffer. I'm just, I'm just not going to choose. And what I'm going to do is, so whatever the shit happens, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going the whole system, right? So either way, like either the red person wearing the red shirt suffers, or the person wearing the blue shirt suffers. But what you have to do is you have to work as soon as possible on a way to end this system itself. The system itself is broken, right? So as long as there are sentient beings, they are going to breed. No matter how many animals you euthanize, no matter how many animals you rescue, if you ban slavery or not, like suffering just keeps changing forms, changing the victims, but it never really ends, right? If you are not a bigot, you will understand that.
Yeah, it's it's just not enough, is it? Really? Unfortunately, I guess if you asked, even a slavery abolitionist, Steve, if they'd support extinction, they'd probably have said no as well, right?
Yeah, maybe some would have said yes also. Right,
Yeah,
we also come from different movements, right? So I can see most extinctionists were like searching for like they were in something, at least they were searching a way to solve some suffering desperately. And then when it didn't make sense, especially when, like, so we just think about it, right? For example, like I thought, like, what if I made liberated all the animals, banned all the dairy farms and all that? Would I be happy with that world? Answer is absolutely no. Farmed animals are still going to suffer in illegal farms. Wild animal suffering is going to skyrocket, right? So I'm not satisfied with the world. The victims don't care. A chicken doesn't care whether it's killed by a fox or a human, right? So I don't really like. I didn't feel satisfied with that, so I just became an extinctionist. Right. I think every extinctionist story is the same there, because they are so whatever cause we were fighting for before, we weren't satisfied by any of those, right? Because they were single issues. That's why we weren't satisfied, because it really doesn't solve anything, right? So understanding this is the core of becoming an extinctionist.
yeah,
So nothing you do will matter unless it is total extinction.
yeah. I mean, even the suffering that vegans or any other movement proclaims to want to end, it's never going to really end without extinction, right? Like you say, animal suffering will never end until there's total extinction.
Yeah. So
Suffering will never end.
even if you are, see, even if you are a bigot, okay, if you just focus on farmed animal suffering also, it never ends, right? That's like, see, already raping a child is banned, right? That doesn't end child trafficking, right? So same way, like animals, like it's gonna be even more. Even if you ban all these things, banning all these things itself is going to be like with the way vegans are going, it's going to be definitely impossible. Because they don't even respect their own victims, as we have seen in the past video. But that's another story. But even if you're a bigot, like let's say like you banned farms, and now it's not happening at the scale that it used to happen. Like there are not like 25 billion chickens in a poultry farm, but some few millions of chickens spread illegally on basements, right? Even more intense suffering, that's another thing. But are you satisfied like now? Oh, there is less chickens now, the world is so happy, we can all live peacefully. Just we banned farms. So what can we do if they are just criminals? So what can we do about it, right? So if a few million chickens suffer in the basements, it's totally fine, right? So that's the kind of mentality you can't have, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's morally inconsistent and it's hypocrisy, basically.
yeah. So it's just like all these rescue, all these things. They are just about most people who are not genuine. They just want to satisfy some savior complex of theirs. Oh, I rescued a dog, but did it help the root cause of the dog issue, of the suffering of animals? It didn't. Even if you are a bigot, even if you just care about dogs, right? It didn't solve any dog issue, right? You just rescued one dog. Tomorrow there are like four new puppies on the street, right? You would rescue one abandoned dog. There are going to be more abandoned dogs tomorrow. If you rescue each and every one of them, there is like going to be another animal. I'm sorry, there's no rescuing each and every one. Like if you euthanize each and every one of them, there is going to be another animal. So that is the root, the problem of every single social justice movement ever in history. They never saw the big picture, and extinctionism does, and that makes it the ultimate movement and the only solution to all the sufferings. So if you want to avoid being a bigot, you should only be an extinctionist. Otherwise, you are just replacing white rhinos with black rhinos. You are just replacing your child with another person's child or wild animals. You are just replacing farmed animals with wild animals. One chicken with another chicken. One dog with another dog. This is what you are doing, right? You aren't really ending the issue. If you want to end the issue, what you should do is you should look at the bigger picture. You should first decide that you are here for the victims, right? So go and look at the data. Right. What does the data say? Wild birds itself is 100 billion. So currently we have some, 40 million square kilometers of forest or something. So 35 million square kilometers or 38 million square kilometers is consumed by animal agriculture industry. So if this is abolished, forests will double. So wild birds itself will be more in number than farmed animals. So then comes the reptiles, the insects, the fishes, the amphibians, frogs, right? So they are going to suffer in quintillions, right? So look at statistics. Look at like humans, how much resources humans are consuming. If you don't have one single child, that is that is enough resources for like thousands and thousands of wild animals. Right? So you just imagine you clear out a mall, like millions of lizards, insects, and frogs can move in there, right? So what is the use of reducing human population? Nothing, literally nothing. right? So these again, like if you go for communism, you eradicate poverty. All these people are going to torture animals. Next, your communism doesn't recognize them as labor. They don't recognize them at all. They are slaves, which is hypocrisy, by the way. But that's what is going to happen. And humans also, they were suffering from poverty. Now they may not have poverty. That's also historically wrong. Communism has only caused starvation in history. But still, if you just if some political system manages to eradicate poverty, then you just end up with depression for humans also. Even if you are a bigot, single issue campaigns make zero sense.
Hmm. Yeah. So, do we have any comments?
So this is a core concept that you need to understand if you really like. Every extinctionist is an extinctionist because they get this point. Yeah, this is the core concept of extinctionism itself. Yep, we can address some comments, and we can even put the link on the live if somebody wants to join and like debate us for a few minutes. It would be fine.
Yeah, let us know if you'd like to join us right now and have a conversation, ask any questions you may have, or debate us. Yeah, so, even just human only extinctionists, right? That's still kind of single issue, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
There's no reason not to have the most vast and thorough ending of suffering as,
yeah.
absolutely possible, as
Human
exhaustively
extinction
possible.
is just bigotry. Anything else other than the most vast and thorough extinction is bigotry.
Yeah, I mean, if you're actually motivated by the suffering and not by, being in a cult or virtue signaling or satisfying your emotions, then you'll actually care about all suffering, right?
Yeah,
And not discriminate.
yeah. If these words are more important, anti-natalism, veganism, go ahead, defend them. They literally mean nothing. You'll give more profit to some vegan business owners. That's it. Literally nothing else you are doing. Yeah.
So we have a question about determinism.
You said you don't believe in astrology, but you believe in this is some fucked up like connection.
It's like, have you read your horoscope for the day?
Wait a second. Determinism doesn't mean that a future is fixed. It doesn't mean that you can predict it. Yeah. So in the like the physicist itself like say this because you cannot be a super being who knows every atom uh, and their position at all times. Only if you know only if you are a super being who knows every atom's position at all times and you are familiar with every single law of physics, you will be able to predict the future. And I don't think astrologers have super. Where do these guys come from? I think he's just trolling.
Yeah. Does anyone have a serious question? We can go ahead and put the invite in the
Link on
chat.
the comments. Yeah, if people want to join the live, they can join.
You won't see Inmendum doing that, will you, Steve?
He didn't even still address the point about abolitionism. I mean, we made clear statements, right? He is not touching the right statements actually, like because most of the movements, uh, I mean, like literally, none of the movements in history had the 51% people supporting it. Only politicians had that kind of support. Like no social justice movement ever did. It was like not even like 10% or something. Like mostly it is not even more than 3.5% of the people who fight actively for a cause. 99% people are like selfish. So they are not going to fight for any cause. So they are going to be minding their own business, their own families, their own jobs, their own enjoyment. 1% of the people only actually care about anything.
Unfortunately, yeah, most people think that they have zero moral obligation to do anything as long as they're not, causing a net increase in suffering, like in men said, which means that like it's fine if you steal from
Yeah, yeah,
someone and give it because it's not a net increase.
yeah. I don't think we need to mind people like Inman Dam. They are just their irrational genes are going to go extinct, and they are never going to get consent from 51% of people ever. So their ideology is just going to fail. Like they are not a competitor. It was just one day troll. It was good. That's it. Move on. So this is like today's topic is like kind of an important topic that everybody needs to understand. So where my analogy is like clear, like did I clearly explain like ecology and the other concepts of how animals sufferers are getting replaced, or if somebody wants me to explain again, I can explain again.
Yeah, just to go over the core concept again, there should be an overarching system that affects everything, and the morality, and what we should do and shouldn't do. It doesn't make sense to just focus on one movement, right? There should be something for everyone.
Exactly.
Fairness, equality, and
There
that's why
stuff.
it's saying safety and security from suffering for all. I mean, what more could you
There
possibly
should
want?
be a movement for everyone that addresses the root cause of suffering, right? So that gives a practical solution for suffering. Yeah. Do we have any other comments?
Drop us a comment now, guys. Drop us a question. We will answer it. Or if you want to join us right now and have a conversation, the link is in the chat. Is there anything else we want to talk about while we're still here, Steve? Anything else related to the movement?
So another thing that doesn't make sense about fighting for single issues is like most like most of the single issues, right? They don't even address the problem at the root cause of it, right? So they just uh, so the thing is like most movements are like I mean 90% of the movement is all about like changing laws. It just ignores the um, existence of crime, right? So most people are like this. They make something illegal by social justice movements. They feel proud about it, and then when somebody like illegally does it, like somebody does a crime, then they punish them, and then be happy about it. So this is another point that we need to address. The concept of justice, the most bullshit the society has ever made, right?
I think we should do that. That should be the next episode, definitely, right? Because the justice system doesn't actually have space for morality and doing the right thing.
Exactly. It's all about the child abuser just gets to rape and kill 100 children. Oh, the justice has been served. The guy got the electric chair. You are a fucking moron. Why? Like, there's just going to be another child abuser who's going to be created. He's going to rape another 100 children and kill them. Then these morons again will put him in an electric chair and feel happy about it. They don't want to end this entire system, right? It's almost like they want those children to be raped so that justice can be served and they can feel good about it. Right. So the feeling of justice is much more important than victims. This is another bullshit, like the shittiest the society can get, right? Like
You're right.
just like optimism bias.
It provides no real protection. It provides like a reaction that comes all too late and fails too many.
Yeah,
Prevention is the key.
yeah,
Absolute prevention.
yeah. Do we have any comments?
I'm just gonna let my cat out. The room is going crazy. No, basically no comments, Steve.
Yeah.
We reached out to the public for comment, and they said no comment.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's pretty clear that single issue movements or issues are just insufficient. Don't help enough people. Will never actually solve the issue they're trying to rub against.
Yeah.
You need.
I'm not surprised that there is no comments. This is the because this podcast we had today, the points mentioned here. This is the major point anybody is afraid to touch. The major argument behind extinctionist movement. So it just debunks every movement really, right? Because everything, not just movements, like everything people do, every pseudo anti-suffering thing that people do, right? Can't really argue against it.
Yeah. If you agree with extinctionism and ending suffering for all, get in touch with us, drop us a comment. We'd be happy to talk to you, debate you, talk to you about how you can help with activism and help end suffering. Be active. We can't just sit around and wait for it to happen by itself.
Yep.
We can't just wait for the heat death of the universe. Some morons are literally saying like, screw them. The heat death of the universe will save them, right?
Yeah.
And
veganism will save them.
Once they're dead, their suffering is over. So what did it ever matter that they suffered? It's just such moronic stuff, man.
Yeah. Now, before that, people will automatically become extinctionist and 51% people will oppress the 49% and they'll press the red button. It will happen.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. Jesus loves you.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Join us next week for justice and what real justice looks like.
Yep.
All right. See you around, guys. Peace out.
Bye.